There was a man called Eamon. He wasn't wealthy. He wasn't important in the eyes of the world. But in Ravendale, everyone knew his name. Not because of who he was, but because of what he gave. If a storm tore through the village and left roofs broken, Eamon would be there before sunrise, repairing what he could. If someone fell ill, he stayed through the night, bringing water, medicine, and quiet comfort. If someone felt alone, he sat beside them, saying nothing, just being there until the silence no longer hurt. People would often say, Eamon has a rare kind of heart, and he believed it, because helping others made him feel like his life meant something. Eamon lived with his wife, Maris. She wasn't unkind, just distant. When life became heavy, she pulled away instead of leaning in. Conversations became shorter. Smiles became rare. Yet, Eamon stayed the same. He cooked for her, supported her, stood by her, even when she barely noticed. And when she eventually softened again, laughing and speaking like before, Eamon would quietly tell himself, "This is love." His closest friend was a woman named Talia. Bright, expressive, always full of stories, but always in need. She came whenever life overwhelmed her. She would talk for hours, venting, crying, unloading her pain onto him. And Eamon listened, always, carefully, patiently. She would leave feeling lighter. But Eamon always felt heavier. Still, he told himself, this is friendship. There was also a man named Darren, a restless soul who struggled to find his path. Eamon guided him, supported him, even gave him money when he had nothing. One day, Darren said, "You're like the brother I never had." And those words meant everything to Eamon. He felt needed, valued, but slowly, quietly, he began to disappear from his own life. His small farm started to fail, his energy faded, his nights became restless. And then one day, his body gave in. Eamon fell sick, not dangerously, but enough that he could no longer help anyone. For the first time, he needed others. So he waited. Maris helped at first, but soon her patience wore thin. "There's too much to handle," she said one evening. "I'm doing what I can." She wasn't cruel, but she made something clear. This wasn't her burden to carry. Talia visited once. She sat beside him, then, almost without realizing, began talking about her own struggles again. Before leaving, she smiled and said, "You'll be fine. You always are." And she walked away, and Darren never came. Days passed. Eamon lay staring at the ceiling, and something inside him shifted. Not anger, not heartbreak. Clarity. He thought about the years he gave, the energy he poured into others, the love he believed he was receiving. And slowly, he understood the truth. He wasn't being loved. He was being needed. And there's a difference. Love stays, even when you have nothing to give. But being needed disappears when you are no longer useful. That realization didn't destroy him. It woke him up. Weeks later, Eamon stood again. Weak, but changed. He walked out to his neglected farm, touched the dry soil, and began clearing it, pulling weeds, turning the earth, planting again. But this time, not for anyone else, for himself. From that day on, Eamon made a quiet promise, and he would still help people, but never at the cost of himself. He would give, but never from emptiness. He would love, but never from fear of being alone. The next time Talia came, ready to unload her worries, Eamon gently raised his hand. "I need to speak first," he said, and for the first time, he shared his own feelings, not with anger, not with blame, just truth. Talia fell silent. Then, she listened, and for the first time, their friendship felt balanced, Maris noticed the change too. Eamon no longer filled every silence or solved every problem. At first, she seemed confused, but slowly she began to step closer. "Are you okay?" she asked one evening. A simple question, but a real one. Months later, Darren returned, different, humbled. "I should have been there when you were sick," he admitted quietly. "I was ashamed." Eamon looked at him calmly. "I noticed," he said, then added gently, "People who care show up." That moment changed Darren more than all the help Eamon had ever given him. One evening, an old villager sat beside Eamon and said, "Kindness is a gift, but without boundaries it becomes invisible. People stop seeing you and only see what you can do." Eamon nodded, because now he understood. He didn't close his heart. He didn't stop being kind. He simply learned something powerful: to give by choice, not by obligation. And in that change, something beautiful happened. The loud, demanding voices faded away, and the quiet, genuine ones finally became clear. So if you're always the one giving, ask yourself this: when you had nothing left, who stayed? Because real love is not about who needs you. It's about who chooses you.